Matthew Lesco. Wow, what a energy charged man. He's 82 years old, Matthew. He's from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, blue collar family. Ended up going into the military for Vietnam. Came out and had some businesses and ended up working in the government area, getting paid to find out government information. He was asked to do research on something. This is back in the 70s, and he went to the government offices in the DC area and found all this information available, but you just had to kind of go and get it. And then he helped these businesses with that information, ended up writing books on it, and now he's devoted his life to helping businesses and individuals find and get money that the government has available for them. And he gave me these great sites, findhelp.org. You put in your zip code, you see how many programs are available. He has his own lescohelp.com where he does charge a fee for that, but you have to go and he's 40% of the economy is just giving away. It's just helping people and businesses. The trick is you have to go and find out where it is. It's just the money is just sitting there. Fascinating, Matthew, what he does now and how charismatic he is. It's the great, wonderful, and he leads with love now at 82 years old. It's wonderful, his motivation and his discipline. Thanks for listening and watching. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others. I'm very, very excited to talk to you, Matthew Lesko. Thank you so much for your time today. Does the U.S. government help small businesses?
Oh, God, yeah. More than anybody.
Really?
Yeah. So are we on yet or what?
We are on.
We are really
on. Yeah.
Live from New York.
Tell me how they help, because it's not a lot of small businesses don't know.
Absolutely. Hold on, I messed up something here. I'm worried. Yeah, it's, oh gosh, why doesn't?
I can hear and see you just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's, well, look at, you ever hear of Elon Musk?
No, who's he?
Well, Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from the government.
Wow.
And his programs, I mean, what he started, it's all government finance. That's where, I mean, he gets other money too, but he also gets $8 million a day from the government. So it's for anything. I mean, millions and millions of businesses every day get money. And it's big, small. And I think what's more important for businesses and entrepreneurs is not so much the money, it's the expertise. Particularly if you have a small business or thinking about a small business, to me, what's more important is, everybody could say, give me a lot of money and my problems will be solved, but they won't actually, because you don't know how to fucking spend it. And that's important. What we need when we have a bright idea is help to find out what tools are out there to help us implement that idea. And what happens, an entrepreneur will go to the internet and they go to Google and they'll go put maybe grants for business or something like that. And they'll literally get 200 million websites. And because you have 200 million people on the internet want to get money from you because you have a problem. And that's what the internet is. That's the epitome of capitalism. That's what capitalism is about. We solve problems of people, and people pay us to solve the problems, and that's good stuff. But there's another section of our economy that people don't know about, and that's what I call maybe the giving economy or the community. In other words, we also live in a community where we have an instinct to help each other. So there's and that's a huge section of our economy.
Hmm.
That's why they're able to give out entrepreneurs $8 million a day just to one entrepreneur,
Mm.
because we feel that they're going to help the economy, okay, and help the rest of us, and we vote to have those programs, and but they're not advertised, so people don't know about them. The rich people find out about them, and that's how I learned. The rich people taught me. I was helping Fortune 500 companies grow their businesses and buy businesses, mergers and acquisitions. And I was in Washington. This is like 50 years ago. God, there were programs for all these things that businesses want to do. I said, well, I'm from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, a little coal mining town. I had no idea about these programs. And it was just such a pity to me to see, people who didn't need money were getting all this money to. I felt I was helping millionaires become billionaires,
Hmm.
and that wasn't fun after a while. After I learned how to feed myself, then I felt, God, the people who really need this stuff should know about it. And then I started devoting my life to that, and it was books. But people don't read books, particularly people who
Mm.
need money. They don't have time to read books. They're scrambling to stay above water. Uh, but it's really to educate the general public about what this country has to offer them, no matter what they do in life. There's help, but they're not trained to get it. They're trained to go and spend money to solve their problems. But the people who help you with your problems, and by the way, the problems, the amount of money available is 40% of everything in our economy is people giving you free money. That's 40%. I mean, that's
Really?
huge to me. 60% is capitalism, 40%. So you look at the economy, it's like $20 billion or something, trillion, sorry, billion, trillion, who the hell cares? And about 6 trillion of that or more is giving away money to help people,
Hmm.
and to help the society. So the same way, we have a fire truck or a fire station in town. We have a house on fire. We call them. They can put it out. Don't charge a nickel, right? Just think if you had to go to Google to get a fireman. First of
Mm.
all, they're going to ask for your credit card first before they put out your fire. Well, it's the same thing with entrepreneurs. They want you, the society wants you to start a business because you create a job. You create a job for yourself, you hire other people or whatever. So that's the theory behind this. Why are we bailing out Wall Street? They're the richest fucking people in the world. We give them
Mm.
billions of
Mm.
more dollars because we think they're important. Well, you go to any, you're in, where in Florida are you? Tampa or somewhere? Where
Yeah,
are
I'm in
you?
Tampa, the West Coast. Yeah.
Tampa. Well, Tampa has a dozen programs or more to help entrepreneurs start businesses, grow businesses. And it's not just Tampa, it'll be your county, it'll be your state, it'll be nonprofit organizations, but none of them will advertise. Well, a good way to get a feel for this is can you go online?
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. I just can't share it with the software, but
Okay, I want to see your eyes when you see this.
Okay.
That's the only important part.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're online and go to find FINDHELP. And your daughter could use this too a lot.
Yes. Findhelp.org.
Yes. How did you know that? Org.
Because I've listened to you before.
Oh, I see.
And so now it wants you to put in a zip code.
Zip code. Yeah, put in your Tampa zip code.
Yeah. And there's 1,800 programs.
Okay, so you got 1,800 programs. Every one of those offices give away free money or help. 1,800 in Tampa. I mean, that's why people will go on the internet and they'll find 200 million, but on Google, but all of those will want money from you. This 1,800 programs there all give money to people. They give help, but they'll never call you. See,
Right.
that's why you go on Google, they're paying to find you. And they're going to, they're going to beat on you forever until you give them money. Right. Here, they're sitting, waiting. Are you old enough to remember the Maytag repairman?
I certainly am. He was tired because nobody would call him. Yeah.
Jeffrey White was the actor.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, you just revealed yourself. They're more like that. They're waiting for you to call. And that's when you do. And that's why people, and the people that try to call the government, they get the wrong number because it's complicated, man. 40% of everything is that kind of stuff. And nobody knows what's there. And it's all called names that you wouldn't even think. We have what's in our own head looking for that. So you have 1,800. Okay, go up in the search bar again and put in, say your daughter's, you kicked her out of the house because she's not paying her way or something. She has to rent somewhere and she needs rent. So she goes up at that little search bar and puts rent.
Type in rent.
Do you see on the left-hand top side?
Yeah. Find org, verification successful. Okay. It found 73 help pay rent for housing.
Right. See, so there's 73 programs that help people pay rent. Wow. I mean, people will call up a government office. Maybe they hear about a rent program. They say they're out of money, or you make too much money, or you don't qualify. Well, you got 77 more programs to figure out. Wow. It's like getting a job or anything. So the help is out there. We're not trained to do the work necessary to get it. I mean, you may get lucky and maybe the first one to do it and whatever. And they're the ones I used to put in my infomercial. The ones that, the ones that, I went in my garage and made $1 million, shit like that. And that sells books. But the reality is you're going to have to do work. I mean, this stuff doesn't land and it's on your side. It's not their side. And then we like to blame the government. So the government's fault. Whether it is or not, it doesn't matter to me. The stuff is there. You want to get it or not. You have a better way, go do it. But this is there. They give out an average of $18,000 to every adult in the United States.
Wow.
That's why people, not only some people get $8 million a day, and people like seniors, they get $65 a day, and so it's there. We don't train people, use it. We hear what's bad about the government. That's right. We're all bad. You come and see my business. I'm fucked up too. I don't do everything well, but we want everybody in life that's not us to be perfect, right? But us, well, I have an excuse. It's not me. But everybody else, man, you don't answer that phone in one phone call, man, one ring, then you're just lazy, shiftless bureaucrats. And now the current administration epitomizes all that. I mean, all these people just live off the government. Trump himself, I mean, his whole empire was built on government programs
Wow.
in property and real estate. His dad was always in court because he was uh, using them too much or whatever. And that's in Trump's first book. He brags about his first $1 million deal was with the government property in Cincinnati. So it's all there. I mean, you see all the at the coronation, or what would we call it? No, swearing in. That's what we call it. The behind him were like a half a dozen billionaires, man. They know where the money is.
Mm.
And if they're so smart and can create money, why do they have to come to the government to get our money? Yeah. Because they know it's easier.
Hmm. So, Matthew, you said you were actually in the government. You weren't really a lobbyist. What was your role when you first?
No, actually, I I was Vietnam was my
That's
role.
right. Yes,
I
you
was
were
a
in the
naval
war.
officer back in Vietnam, and uh, and then I came out looking for a job and said, "Oh, as a naval officer, I could get a GS-9." So I came to Washington, tried to get a government job, and the more I was getting closer to jobs, something I felt I didn't want to do. So I got an MBA in computers. I started a software company that failed. I became a computer science uh, professor, local colleges, and then we started business. Then my MBA was in management information systems and showing management how to get information outside their company, not inside.
Mm.
Back in the 70s. So no, we had computers then, but they were IBM computers bigger than my room,
Right.
and I was a coder and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to get information to management to make decisions. And the important decisions were about what was going on outside their company. The computer took care of information inside their company,
Hmm.
payroll, manufacturing stuff. But, since the oil embargo, America realized that, uh, some little country halfway across the world brought us to our knees because of the price of oil.
Hmm.
That's what you have to keep track of: your competitors, technology, government regulations, what's going on in the world that's going to affect your business more than Sally at the receptionist or whatever.
Hmm.
And that's what I was trying to. I was designing something called an external management information system. After you get a degree, you start talking like that.
Yes.
Nobody knew what I was talking about because probably I didn't either.
Mm.
So I was trying to, because I wanted them to monitor these things. Nobody wants to spend that much. Then I got trapped into mergers and acquisitions because they're the people that wanted information outside their organization.
Mm.
Uh, and then I was like, well, and they said, well, yeah, we want to start a chain of pasta stores. And this was actually uh, uh, Procter and Gamble. Somebody on the board of directors, hey, let's get in the pasta. Somebody, and hire a guy like me to find out the market for pasta. So, when I being in Washington and before the internet, all the information you could get were in the libraries. And
Hmm.
Washington had more libraries than anybody else in the world. And so there'd be a pasta library.
Huh.
Anything. Well, actually, I'd go to the Department of Commerce and find the market studies they had on this market study, and then also the librarian would tell me, "Oh, you want to talk to Charlie down the hall here? He's our pasta expert in the government." So I'd go down and talk to Charlie, and he was just this is some GS 14, 15 or something like that. Spend the last 20 years studying pasta.
Wow.
He spends millions of dollars getting market studies and everything to make sure the pasta business is doing okay. And I get to see him, and nobody knows he's there. He's been studying this for 15 years. No one's asked him a question. His wife's sick of hearing about it.
Wow.
So I would come in and ask him about it. The problem was getting out of his office. And
Hmm.
he'd load me down with all these studies and stuff like that. And he'd be so excited. So I'd take that information. I'd uh, uh, plagiarize it, really what it is. But nothing
Hmm.
in the government is copyrighted. And I'd
Right.
thank him in the introduction, and I'd sell it for thousands and thousands of dollars to Fortune 500 companies. And that's why I said, if a schmuck like me from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, could walk into an office and get this stuff, why the hell doesn't everybody do this? See?
Hmm.
Everybody thinks it's magic, and that's my mission now in life, and I've been at it 50 years, is trying to figure out how to realize, number one, 40% of this economy is there to help you, not to get money from you.
Mm.
Uh, we have people who do this that are really, it's the loving part of society. Capitalism is the hooker part of our society.
Huh.
They'll love you for money.
Not sure if I ever heard it expressed that way, but I could see what you mean.
But this is, they're doing it for love. They want to help people. I mean, wouldn't it be a great job? You're sitting there and, yeah, I'm giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars to people every day.
Wow.
That's Santa Claus. And that's their job. And so we have a society that has that. And we're not training people to do it. People, and what bothers me more, even, I don't know, data. I mean, we're the richest people in the world. Right? Okay, this is a graph of the poverty rate of all the rich countries. There's about 35 of them. And we're number one. We have more percentage of people in poverty in this country than any other developed country.
Wow.
And that, how can we have more millionaires and billionaires and we're number one in poverty? Man, we're number one in everything.
Mm.
And that's what, like even now, I feel what's happening too is, look at data. I love data. If you look at our economy, like your daughter going out of school now, okay. Well, wages, the red bar uh, is wages for the last 50 years for 90% of the country. So in the last 50 years, the average wage for 90% of us only went up like 30%.
Hmm.
But guess who made very well? The top 10%.
Top 10.
Man, they went up 100%. So if our wages went up 30% in 50 years, but everybody talks about inflation. Well, yeah, they are pissed because inflation went up 300%.
Wow.
So if your wage went up 30%, you're bailing water more every day. You can't stay ahead of that. That's why people, and that's what I see now. We're arguing about, tax cut and all that kind of stuff. To me, and so the people who are screwed can't live in this country anymore. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's getting worse and worse. And so, do we give more programs? Or to me, I think what we should do is not give more programs, is to give more income.
Hmm.
So it's now this part of society, they don't want to give more programs and they don't want to give more income.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so it seems that instead of just fighting for more programs for people who need help, is these people, okay, are creating income for themselves, but not the rest of us. I mean, that's maybe a very biased point of view, and I'm sure you'll hear, things from the other side, but there has to be something there, and the tools, and even if you put all that aside, what I really believe is that people in this country, majority are very good people. We all
Yeah.
are. I mean, I have my asshole side too. I
Sure.
got some ex-wives you could call and verify that. Yeah. But it is, they're good, but we have to reach at that. And then what worries me is that people don't believe there's good people, so they don't go out and look for help because,
Hmm.
and there are people out there that want to help you. I mean, just like Charlie with the pasta.
Right.
And then so you got 79 people to help you with rent. They get paid to help people with that problem.
It's
Now,
amazing.
who would ever think that? It doesn't come to my mind because we're also capitalist oriented. We forget there's another part of society that helps each other, and that's the good part. You know,
Mm.
I mean, the other part is the sweets and the ice cream and stuff like that of society. It's fun to do, but the stuff that makes you really grow is your heart. It's the love
Mm.
part. And that's what this site uh, is all about, is helping people because they're helping, because they're people. Yeah. and we do a lot of that. Uh, and to try to teach people that it is there for you. So, like your daughter or something, I don't. With biology, at least she's into science, and I guess she's not looking for a job at NIH anymore.
That's for sure. So Matthew, so a small business goes to this findhelp.org,
Yes.
find some information.
Yeah.
But the next problem I hear is that now you've got to go and you've got to spend hours talking to them on the phone, figuring it out, and it's a long trek to actually get to the money. Is that false or true
No, that's probably true.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. You want to do anything in life, that's going to be true.
right,
We want. The problem is the marketing aspect. Think of it is that everybody on the internet says, "No, just 2 minutes, you'll be a millionaire. Just give me
right,
money."
right. Got to
So,
work for it.
and that appeals to us because, oh fuck, I don't want to work either. So if you want to play basketball or football, I mean, you just don't go out there. You
Mm,
do it. You gotta do it, and there's people to help you do it. The problem is, see, if you don't get the help, then you're failing. Okay, you say, okay, this guy promises I'll going to be a millionaire by Thursday night, and it doesn't happen. Then you get pissed,
mm.
and then you build up that the world's against you. Yeah, no, um, that's not reality, and so we ignore that, and then we get pissed off and do something we hate, and get mad at the rest of the people.
So the government wants to give you money, but you still have to play by the rules. You have to find out where it is and get to it. Do you start federal or is find.org, is that local?
Yes, and if you're an entrepreneur, that would be go put and see what they have for business there, because
So you want
SBA had a great website that gave you, like 20 places in locally for business, and they cut that down to a fraction of what it was. And that's Trump did that just a couple of weeks ago. Uh,
hmm.
but this has some of it, and I'll show you other places for government.
So find help and where else do you want me to go?
Findhelp.org, okay,
Yeah,
and then put in your zip code, and then put in business.
I say put my zip code back in.
Uh-huh.
And is findhelp.org, is this a government site?
No, it's a nonprofit. There's
Ah,
two sites like this. There's the Find Help, and there's another one called 211.org. That's sort of like United Way. They sort of keep track of, United Way or the good do good people in your community. That's where they have fundraising for nonprofits and stuff like that.
hmm.
So United Way keeps track of that. But this is a private organization that I think does it better than United Way, findhelp.org.
So I typed in my zip code 1815 programs, and now you want me to type in business?
Right, up on the left-hand corner. Yeah.
Okay, I type in business and I get uh 96 results.
Right.
Veterans business
There's
outreach, small
96,
business loans.
yeah. There's 96 people that are, the key here is nonprofit and government offices. Now, here's another thing I want to show you. And I think AI is great.
Hmm.
And it doesn't cost money because AI is Google without ads. See? But if you go to Google, you get 200 million websites.
Hmm.
You go to, actually, here's a link. You want to go to this link I put up. It's tiny,
Hmm. Hmm.
tinyurl.com/Lesco. Shit, what is it?
Let's go shit. That's not gonna
No, I think it's small business. Let's see. I forget what it is. It's too early. uh, this is a sample report from Chat GPT, and anybody could use this. Uh, let's go business.
LESKOBUSINESS. Let's go business.
Yeah,
Okay, get free money and help to start expand any profit. It looks like it's a document, a Google
right.
document.
It's a Google Doc, something I put up. Actually, I have another one I want to
Make
show
any
you.
appointment, win free business mentors and counselors.
Right.
250,000 in forgivable loans. Great way to 200 grand. It's amazing and sad at the same time, Matthew, that all these exist and nobody knows
Absolutely.
where they are.
Absolutely. My heart hurts.
Yeah, right. Of course it
Yeah,
does.
oh, the other one too. This is how to find it for your organization. tinyurl.com/Lesco local business. I just put this up a day or two ago.
Lesko
At 82,
local.
I forget a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's just your birthday recently.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, 82 years old. Let's go business. I
No,
typed that in.
no, Lesco local business.
Ah,
LOCAL. So you want to find business help for where you live.
tinyurl.com/Lesco business. Excuse me, Lesco
Lesco,
local business.
yeah, Lesco local.
It says I need access. Google Docs.
So when you put tiny, uh,
tinyurl.com/LESKO, then LOCAL, local, and then business BUSINESS, hit return. It says at Google Docs, I need access.
can you anything there to click on?
It says request access. I just did.
Yeah, okay, click on it. See what that does.
So the request has been sent to you to grant access.
Oh, fuck! I know what happened.
Yeah, I know what happened too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll make sure to put these all in the show notes.
No, okay, this will work. I have to go in and say
Change
it.
change the
It's open
privileges.
to everybody.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah. Change
do.
the privileges. Yeah,
I just
yeah,
put this up recently.
yeah, yeah. Glad to help. And
Yeah.
has there ever been a point, Matthew, where your mission you kind of pulled back on it? You got frustrated? Hey, Joey Pinz here. Want to take your podcast experience to the next level? I'm excited to invite you to become a YouTube member. It's the absolute best way to support the channel and enhance your connection. Join our amazing community and unlock the incredible perks, custom loyalty badges, exclusive emojis, and priority comment replies. Your voice will always stand out. Be the first to watch new videos with early access, receive special membership shoutouts, and get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and updates. Dive into content available only to our members, special videos, deep dives, and insider perspectives. Engage directly with me. Suggest podcast topics you want to hear, and even get personalized video shoutouts. Hit the join button right now and become part of something special. Let's build this amazing community together. I can't wait to welcome you as a new member. Join the Joey Pinz family today.
Oh, every day, but all of life does that to you. That's why you have to. Your motives have to be bigger than that.
Right.
And if it isn't, that's why the older I get, the more I realize that your heart is smarter than your brain. Because if you're using your brain, you'll get all these expert advice and they'll tell you what succeeds and what doesn't succeed. And most of that stuff won't work. You'll get pissed off and give up and get another shitty job you hate. Yeah.
So what's your advice when dealing with these entities that want to give the money out? What's your advice there?
You just be nice as hell.
Right.
I mean, that's the only currency you have in the equation. You don't have money. They don't take money. They already got paid. So from their standpoint, they could help you for free for next month and a half and get paid the same or hang up on you after you say hello. Yeah. So it's a people business.
And they don't get bonuses based on how much money they distribute.
How much money they give away?
Yeah. No, they don't, right? There's no incentive by them. Are there satisfaction surveys?
Yeah, they do have those, but they don't pay attention to them.
Wow, I see. So your only currency is just to be nice and ask a lot of questions.
Man, you know it. And to me is humor. You get them to laugh, man. Because you're pissy at them, they can hang up and nothing bothers them.
They don't
Why,
care.
why talk to you? You know, you're going
Right.
to be miserable, make them miserable today. So they're right for a nicer person to call.
And it has to be on the phone. It's not over email.
It's better the more you could do on the phone. I don't know when you were in college or school, but this is what brown nosing is. You know, I learned this about. I was a professor too. When people come to see me in office hours, even the dumbasses, you know, somehow they got smarter. It was
Mm,
harder to flunk them when I know them personally. You know, but somebody who was really failing, sit in the back of the room, I know just that lazy son of a bitch doesn't deserve.
right.
So it's the same. It's information now to me is more important using people, not less important.
Mm,
You know, because it's that's where it is. There's too complicated to do. You think you know what's going on in the internet. You don't. You can't. You know, and particularly in government, they have words for stuff you don't know. I mean, like
right.
you want a grant from the government? Well, yeah, 80% of the free money given out is not even called grants. So you're asking for a government office for a grant, and they're looking down their check. No, we don't have any. You know, but they have 15 other things that aren't called grants that are free money you could use. So is it called direct payments or loans you don't have to pay back and all this kind of stuff? And that's why you have to go in dumb.
Right.
And you don't, but we all want to act smart. Oh, I need a grant for $50,000 to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm so
Mm,
important. No, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing, and I need help.
right.
That's where you get help. If you're a smart ass, think you know what they have and think you know what you need and things like that, you don't. So to me, you cut off too much when you play that game. If you call up, people want to help people. They don't want to
Right.
help people don't need help.
Right.
So, you and so it's easier for them to help you, easier for them to stretch their mind and say, "Oh yeah, you know what you could really use? Charlie down the hall has something better that would be for you." You know,
Mm,
and that's the way to live. That's the only way. And that I think requires more. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I did that. I started believing that because and that before you did research in libraries, because that was so hard. Now the internet sort of put me out of business because I was selling reference books, and
right.
now people are more important because you put in anything in Google and you get 200 million answers.
Mm,
You got a bigger problem than you started with. And you have to find the people that know that stuff. So you don't waste yeah, you want a plumber who never did a fixed a toilet before, you know, it's going to take him all day
mm,
to figure it out, you know. Somebody who fixed 100 of them, he's in and out in 20 minutes, yeah. Uh, or you try to fix it yourself, you know. Oh, I got to go buy tools now. I don't have it. All that kind of stuff.
What's the craziest or the most surprising, grant or reimbursement you've ever come across?
I think the most amazing thing in my life that I've been able to make a living out of this.
Ah,
I mean, I grew up in a community of mostly Jewish businessmen, you know, talking about, Matthew, you got to, the margins and all this kind of
mm,
stuff. And I remember going home and, yeah, I got a business where I get stuff for free and I sell it for as much as I can. Man,
pretty good business model.
and even my first New York Times bestseller was a book I plagiarized from the government printing office. Yeah,
I heard you say this before. You sold a lot of copies of that book.
absolutely. New York Times bestseller, and I flunked
Right.
English. So I tried to find that English teacher who flunked me. I told you it didn't matter.
Are there still COVID programs available?
Yes, but sort of like, I was dinner last night with somebody who has long COVID. You know, some people still have this stuff. Uh, and yes, but don't worry about any of that stuff. To me, the key is finding people, talking them about your problem. Okay, and those two links you have, it's having the sources to contact, and you have it's like looking for a job. If someone says go to the internet and get a job, or here's 50 places in your city that are hiring people. What do you want? Go to the internet or go to those 50 places? Uh, that's sort of what it's about. And you don't know. And that's why you just ask for help. They know you need a job. They know you need money. Yeah, everybody wants fucking money. So you're not helping. But yeah, God, I just lost my job and I need help and I'm thinking of starting a business or whatever. I mean, people can relate to that,
Right.
not some cocky bastard. Hey, all I need is $100 million, man. I'll show you what this world needs.
And
uh,
it's not just for businesses,
oh,
right, Matthew? It's for
absolutely,
individuals as well.
absolutely, more so. Uh, but the business people know the value of this. The individual doesn't. I
Mm,
mean, it's for any part of life. You want to buy a house, fix up a house, pay rent, pay mortgage. That's all. I just showed you for rent. The
right.
same thing for anything. You go in, and I've done this in Tampa area. If you put in home repair, you know, there are probably 100 or so programs in Tampa area for home repair.
Hmm.
And actually, I just wrote up how there's a program there in Tampa that are giving $10,000 for roofs, because you get all this hurricane stuff.
Yeah.
There's 30,000 people that started the application and didn't complete it. You know,
Wow.
30,000. Yeah. So it's that. It's education. It's training. Another thing, actually, for entrepreneurs, go to find careeronestop.org. Tell them you want to start a business. They're the organization that gets you jobs. And starting a business is now an official job title. So they help you become an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
They have money programs and everything. Depends on where you live. See, it's all different. It's all dependent on where you live. Yeah.
That was Find Career. What was that, Earl?
Career One Stop. I'm sorry. Career
One.
careeronestop.org.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's just
Or
so
you
much
want,
out there.
here's some other thing. Medical is important. Medical. People aren't covered. We'll have less people being covered maybe if Trump gets his way. But there's a wonderful website called Needy, NEEDYMEDS.org. Needymeds.org. And if you go there now, you will see it's like uh, customer savings or consumer savings, a tab on top. If you click on that, you will see on the left hand side how to find free medical help, free and low cost clinics where you live,
Amazing.
dental,
Find help with
free
these
and low
things.
cost dental help, free and low cost prescription drugs, even money to live on while you're recovering from something, transportation to go see somebody, a doctor in another city, state, or whatever. All this stuff that people that will actually get rid of your medical bills. See, as an entrepreneur, what I think too, you need to know about all this stuff for you because you're trying to live yourself. So if you get a hospital bill, you had an accident, go to the hospital, all of a sudden, oh, I got a $5,000 bill. What the hell is this? Well, there's organizations that will fight that for you. You don't have to pay.
Wow.
You don't know. They're going to bill you. The hospitals are run by Wall Street now,
Right.
so they're really after the money. Uh, and so they don't have an incentive to tell you about the programs that you don't
Hmm.
have to pay.
Hmm.
Um,
Matthew, has there been anything in the last month or so that you changed your mind on?
trying to think of a smart ass answer, but but we all do, man. It's so important. I know less, you know, uh,
Right.
and my biggest thing in life now is your heart is smarter than your brain. You got to
Mm.
trust your heart more than anything else, and you have to keep that heart open. And the last couple of years in my life, what I've been doing is trying to love more. I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
about you, but growing up in the '50s as a guy, you never even said the goddamn word. And in my
Right.
house, I don't think I ever heard it. I mean, we're all nice people, but it was
Right.
just nothing, particularly guys. And so my whole life has been that way. And now, recently, really, just saying the word love opens my
Mm.
heart somehow.
Hmm.
Telling other people I do that. Like even our community now, we instead of writing books and things like that, I have a community of about 15,000 people, and I call it a loving community.
Oh.
We try to love each other to help each other. That's what love is. To me, love is helping someone do what they want to do. It's not
Hmm.
telling people how to live their lives. No, it's trying because nobody knows what the fuck to do with their lives. What
Right.
gives me the audacity to think I could tell somebody else what to do with their life when I can't figure out
Mm.
every day I wrestle with that myself. And so, what we should do in loving is ask people what their problems is or what they need help with, and try to help them with that. It's I think it's the only way to live. Like raising kids, to me, it was like showing them opportunities, not you should do this because it's easy. Yeah, work for you, but we're all different. Trying to make a petunia into a rose, you're not going to do that. And you got to find what they're ready to grow at, and we all are grow, because if we're not in the right pot, then we can't grow. All
Mm.
of us went, oh, what's going to make us $1 million? And all this kind of stuff. Okay, you could maybe grab something there and a little bit of something that may help you, but you got to find out what's right for you. And that's what the best thing that happened to me is failure. You
Hmm.
because then I got all that shit out of my head. You know, when I failed, because man, I got an MBA, did all this thing, doing these things that were all failing. God, I'm working my ass off. I'm failing. And I'm not having fun. And that's why I said, I got to flip this around. I mean, this is a crazy way to live. Not have fun because maybe 30 years from now I'll have fun. Oh, man. I don't want to wait that long.
Mm.
And then
Mm.
waste 30 years just to maybe see, nothing's guaranteed anyway, but you could guarantee something right now. And part of that is having fun now, because I feel when you're having fun, you're giving your best.
Mm.
And that's why if you want to love harder, you have to want to be there. You
Mm.
can't, manufacture that sincerity or whatever it is. And even helping people professionally, you got to want to be there. And that's where you give the best, and you become the best at something, not because, oh shit, I want a new condo.
Mm.
And so, how do we give our best? When we start giving our best, then we grow. That's the only way to grow. And then I feel, and when I get old like this, I can't get stronger. I can't get faster. I can't get
Mm.
smarter. All that shit's going downhill. But I can love harder.
Hmm.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
could love harder and harder till the day you die, and that's a cool thing. So,
It
with my
is.
work or personal, how do you open your heart more? Because that makes life a lot more comfortable.
Hmm.
At least for me, we all have to figure this shit out ourselves, I think. Uh, but that's the. I mean, I never saw an MBA class on growing your heart.
Hmm. That's wonderful, Matthew. So I
Yeah,
started my business in the 90s and I was working way too hard, 14, 16-hour days. You're no stranger to this. And
right.
next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor and she tells me that I'm at 340 pounds.
Wow, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And she says, if you don't lose this weight, you're not
Yeah.
going to see your daughter graduate. And my daughter, my
Um,
oldest was just born. My youngest is the one who's graduating next week.
yeah.
And so it scared the life out of me, Matthew. I'm driving home, pissed
Yeah.
off. This is my pie hole. I did this. I'm punching
Right.
the steering wheel. I took the next 6, 7 months, lost about 130 pounds. And people ask me, yeah, people ask me how, and you can't look at it as a finishing line, right? These are lifelong changes because many
Oh
people
god.
gain the
Yeah.
weight back. Terrible. So when I tell this to people, they always say, what's the secret? What you do? And I say, there's no secret. Discipline. That's how I
Exactly.
got it off. Willpower, focus, determination. How does discipline play a role in your life, Matthew Lesco?
Well, I was a fat kid,
Really?
and uh, you know everything. And I fight weight every second of my life, and I'm
Do you
82 years
really?
old. And my wife says it. Says that you think food is the enemy. Yes.
Huh?
And I fight it every day. I still do it nowadays too, because I feel better if I keep that weight down.
Mm.
And it's a job. I feel it's sort of like women in life have a little sexual harassment job they have to do every day. I mean, if you're a woman in this society, to me, it seems like a side project you have to work on almost every
Mm.
day, no matter where you are, you know,
Mm.
because of what's going on between men and women. And so
Mm.
that's a little job. So to me, my little job is just, fighting that food thing every day. And yeah, it is so hard. I found running. That's what I did when I got here. I started running for 50, 60 years. Probably I ran 4 or 5 miles a day.
Wow.
And that's what kept it off. But now at 80, in the last couple of years, I was going out to run. My bones and every I remember talking to doctors earlier. They say, oh, if you get 20, 30 years in running, you won't be able to run anymore. But I ran for 50 years. And
Wow.
but now it's the brain. I can't run because of the brain. I can't think
Interesting.
that fast when I run, and I shuffle more. I trip. I go out 3 days in a row, falling on my nose for no reason at all. I was like,
Wow.
well, these days are over. And then I started walking, and to walk 6 miles, man, it takes a half a day. And so I go to the gym now and do the machines, so I could get an hour and a half in there, and I do that almost every day of my life.
Wow. Now you were in the military, you were very
Yeah,
blue collar raising up there in Wilkes
um,
Bar. Was discipline kind of instilled? Love was never talked about in the
oh,
house?
I was no, we're pretty laissez-faire. My dad was a small business. We had I worked in his factory. He and a partner, and they made manufacture baby clothes. I
Hmm.
hated every minute of it. No, I was a smart ass kid. Flunked out of most schools and
Wow.
barely got there. Thrown out of schools, but not for mischief, for just being a clown. I was so bored in school. I'd entertain myself. uh, yeah, but then I knew, I don't know, something. I knew there's so much out in the world, and I had to get out of Wilkes-Barre. I went away to college at Marquette in Milwaukee. I got in because I flunked out of a Jesuit prep school, and they were
Hmm.
looking for kids on the East Coast, and a whole bunch of us dummies had low SAT scores uh, that got in out there. So they let me in. I sneaked through,
Hmm.
um, and then couldn't. And the draft was on, so I couldn't. I said, well, maybe I'll go to law school. That sort of sounds neat. And I took the LSATs, and oh shit, I got two above plant life. Nobody, nobody's gonna do that. So I didn't. Well, I had nothing better to do, and I didn't want to get drafted because I'm not a camper. I couldn't see myself camping in the
Interesting.
jungles. So I joined the Navy. You get clean sheets every night. And tell you the truth, I never had more responsibility again for the rest of my life.
Really?
Teach me how to drive billion-dollar ships around the South China Seas. Then I was a diplomatic courier with a gun, traveling around Europe with a gun on private planes. Yeah, I'm not private plane, but commercial planes. Yeah, delivering packages and mailman with a gun. Yeah. But
Wow.
I was stationed in Scotland, and I'm a golfer, so that was like being in the briar patch.
Mm.
But I was anxious. I wanted to get on with my life. I had things to do. Uh, I don't know what they were yet, but I was going to try a whole bunch of shit and
Hmm.
kept trying to get lucky. That's the only clue in life to me is you try 100 things now, always marketing and things, and you don't spend money trying because you don't know what works. The experts will
Mm.
tell you what works, but they're probably wrong. So you can't afford to do that. You blow your wad and then you have to get another shitty job.
Mm.
So you do whatever you have to do with as little money as possible. There's always ways to do that now more than ever. Before, like when I grew up, man, if you wanted to sell something, you had to have a store, right?
Right.
And that's a couple hundred grand. Now you have $20 on your Etsy, and you have a
Right.
store. Now it's all about getting customers. That's why people worry about business. Well, I have to get the LLC. I have to do this. I have to get, the licenses. I have to get, the accountants and the lawyers and all. Bullshit. You need nothing when you start a business except a customer. You're going to
Hmm.
waste your time and your money if you follow the advice on how to start a business, because it's all people selling you those services, and they know how to
Mm.
tell you that you're going to die if you don't have this stuff. No.
Mm,
If it's anything with the government, it's going to take them 3 years to find you, and you'll be out of you'll be out of business by then anyway.
interesting.
You don't have to worry about registering unless it's like a food business or something. Uh, so you just go out and look for customers. And now with social media, you know, customers for free. You don't have to buy ads. And that's
Hmm.
where I started making money even when I was bigger. I started buying ads and they didn't work. And then I said, geez, I can't afford that. You go to a place they're selling ads. How much is it? Well, it's worth this dollar amount to them, not to you. You have to figure out
Mm,
what it's worth to you. And when I was paying what it's worth to them, I was never making money. And then I
mm,
figured out, well, they have a lot of ads, but they don't sell all the ad time. So, like if you're a television station, remember we were watching TV in the middle of the night, you saw Smokey the Bear and all this kind of stuff in the ads because they couldn't sell it. So they put PSAs on it. Well,
hmm.
instead of put a PSA that didn't give the station money, I said, hey, run my commercial and I'll give you half the money because I could track where they're from with a special 800 number. Yeah, they do that. Like CNN, I made a ton because they didn't sell all their time all the time and they put my ad on and
Mm,
we'd share the profit. And it was all plus.
hmm.
But first I did it, I was a professional guest and I'd go on talk shows and give my 800 number. Man, yeah. And I remember doing Letterman. I would sit there and do 7 minutes, and I'd stop in the middle, and somebody have to buy an ad for $50,000, and they come back to me, and I'd get 5 more minutes for free.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Larry King, Letterman,
yeah,
those
yeah.
spots.
I was a professional guest.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I learned early that media was all about entertainment. It's not about
Mm.
what you know; it's how you do it. They're
Hmm.
they're buying not what you say; they're buying how you say it.
Mm. Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it. So you stopped writing books and now you have this free lesco.com that helps people and
Right.
businesses?
It's called lescohelp.com.
Lescohelp.com.
And there you get unlimited free help from members. I mean, we got 15,000 people help each other. Like today, there'll be 4 or 5 hours of free Zoom calls of members that are live. You could ask them questions, how they got the money. Yeah. And then also, what I'm shocked when I started this thing, I just have a subscription to something, so I have some revenue to pay my rent. And I didn't want to charge a lot of money. Everybody said I had to charge a lot of money, and I understand that if you have to rich people, because capitalism is you get as much money as you can. But I didn't want
Mm,
to do that. I wanted to get people this information who didn't have money, so
mm,
I didn't want to play that game. So I wanted to do $20, and that's all it is, $20 a month. You get unlimited free help to apply to every program you're eligible for. And more importantly, we also give grants. Well, this has shocked me. I thought I'd have to be Bezos or his ex-wife to be able to give away money. Yeah. But no, now because it's so profitable at $20, we give away $50,000 to $70,000 every month to our members, back to members.
wow.
They just give one sentence why they need money, and we pull out $50,000 worth and give it to them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. What motivates you now, Matthew?
What motivates me now, growing my heart. The more I love, the more I try to help people, the better I feel. And that's
Hmm.
like, to me, giving is selfish. We don't realize how selfish it is. And the members do that. Because I got members helping. I don't have to answer questions anymore. The members love doing it because they see how good it feels.
That's
And they
wonderful.
help each other. That's why I thought, if I did this, I can't. How many people can I help? I'm only one person. So if I'm charging $1,000 an hour, I could, that'll be nice business. But charging $20 an hour, that's not much of a business.
Mm.
How many, with my time. Uh, but when 15,000 people are helping them and they're doing it free, that's a nice
Big
business.
difference. So given that motivation of your heart, happiness, how do you measure success?
Oh, if my heart is happy, because
Hmm.
you have to fight it every day. We live in a society where people are telling you that's stupid, or here's what happiness is. You with a cocktail on the beach or some shit like that.
Mm.
Uh, and it isn't. Happiness is giving, but you have to first get yourself straight. You have to be strong enough to give to other people first. So if your life is screwed up, and that's what I mean. To me, these programs, that's what they're for you to get out of debt or get a better job or, start your own business because that will make you happy. And so you have to work on you first. Um, and that's what I hope the work does too, show people how they can get steady and solid so they can help other people. And to me,
Yeah,
the
that's
ideal
wonderful.
life is helping other people and getting paid for it.
Mm. Yeah, Matthew, I love what you're doing, and I know we had a couple issues trying to schedule this. I appreciate your flexibility, but
Oh,
thank you so much for time. Next time I'm in the DC area, perhaps we'll
yeah.
get a cup of tea.
Yeah, text me when you're in town, so I know. Okay,
Sounds good. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. You be well.
you bet. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pin's Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pin's Discipline Conversations.